your school or your organizations are relevant for the internationalization plan. Yeah? So really, who are you going to involve? For us, you can upload these extra documents. For us, an organizational chart is always very nice as an addition to your accreditation application, because we want to know, we've already heard one person that is the coordinator for this project might just find a new job within 3 years or so, right? So what are you going to do? Which profiles are going to be involved in the whole process within the few years that you're going to run this project or these mobilities, yeah? So for now, I would like you to, 2 minutes, only 2 by 2, really tell the person sitting next to you who is going to be involved in my application process and the whole run. Who, which departments, which people, which kind of profiles, which students, who is really going to be involved within my plans. Okay? Clear? 2 minutes. Just talk to the person next to you.
I'm involved. My colleague is involved. My manager is involved. The head of the academy of our company is involved. And those are the main players.
Who is going to be
involved in writing the
No, not in writing, and it's only me and my colleague. I'm helping in the writing with my manager. We're going to send it to them because she doesn't know anything about it. She can read it if it makes sense.
Yeah.
And because the head of the academy, because eventually they are going to roll it out of the company.
I mean, for me, I'm thinking that we do like a process because our organization is much smaller. We have like 40, 50 people. So I ideally want to question like everybody and to get basically everyone involved.
Yes.
So like sort of map their needs, like to get some input, then have a discussion about that, and then include that in the application. So I would say like all basically, or all the teachers maybe. Yeah.
It almost has to be all of them.
Because, I mean, otherwise, if they aren't involved in the beginning, I don't see why they would be involved.
Yeah, they just
As I said, there were 20,000 people. I can't involve them all. So I have to go by
it's
the lines that they're working on.
for us it's just
Learner is like some manager or something like that. And to sort of map their needs. Yeah, for us we can sort of map everyone's needs.
That's also very clear.
But I mean, we work with like 600 students or something like that, and those are not the target. So we can say that.
Thrown into the deep water because the previous coordinator finished at our school and I've taken over everything.
But you had a handover.
Yes, exactly. There were some
How many years of experience does your organization have?
You have to.
Yes,
They're gonna
That
map, sort of, you're gonna collect, map people's experiences, to see what they already know, what they have done previously.
Well, we have a lot of experience in European funding.
Yeah?
So we don't have a lot of experience in
design.
I see.
So then they had to change
more European funding, yeah. So
I have to I barely knew anything myself. I had to sort of the person.
the rest of you
It's our organization.
Yeah.
And we are so much more. We're not a school.
But none of us.
So we have
because
a European project
like a few months ago.
paid for people with a disability to get a job coach.
By time,
So they were working somewhere with a mental disability, they were working somewhere, and there was a job coach coming to them once a week or twice a week to say, how's it going, are you feeling fine, is it
back to my first application from the professor.
To make them ensure their
LOL when I say
and that was paid for European funding.
that was really
Some
fun.
special.
It's much bigger than Erasmus.
Yeah.
That goes about.
I just saw like once they did it before me, I saw them
Only for us, I think about
at least like
70 million.
and then on the action if I look back at it now.
got for that.
I say
So that's
Going better, it's getting better.
But
Yeah,
also
of course.
when we
And
do
you need
things,
to
a lot
learn
of
this
quantity. So
They like that.
It gets very big, very fast.
I hear a very good remark here. This might already be more of a challenge than you've thought of. Because a lot of these projects are written by one person, and as I heard here, there's a coordinator that feels like if I fall or if I quit, the whole project or the whole mobility idea is going to fall apart. Yes. How are other people dealing with this? This is basically the question that you will answer here. Who am I? Who is my organization? But not I, the coordinator. How are my activities, my mobilities, all the ideas, my objectives going to be anchored within the whole organization? So it's not just your legal representative that is going to sign the Declaration of Honor. No, we also want to know how are these mobilities, these internationalization plans going to be integrated in the whole school system, yeah, or in your organization, in your school, in your class, in your reality, yeah. So the who am I question might already be a difficult one if you're writing alone. We cannot say this enough. Do not do this alone. Get other people involved, yeah. There was one question. I don't know if you want to ask the whole group.
Yes. Our school has about 3,000 students in full time. Our teachers who do projects, I call them project manager, they're few, there are about 4 or 3 very enthusiastic teachers who aren't paid, who don't get anything for their work, and they do great work. Organizational money we spend on accompanying students abroad, on teachers accompanying students abroad, and they are the same people. So my question is, we obviously have a problem. No one is interested in, because we don't know whether we can spend this organizational money to pay the teachers' hours working on accreditations form, for example, working on preparing students. What solutions do you have in your schools for it to involve more teachers, to value their work, to appreciate their work somehow in some way?
Does anybody want to answer already? Do you have an answer for her? Because otherwise, yeah. No one wants to do it.
That was the challenging part of sustainability for us, because we most of the time reflect about or reflect on the environment. But when I hear this word, what it comes to my mind is all these people working over hours and supporting these projects and so on. So that's a challenge, how to solve this and how to, but I think it can be incorporated in the objectives, and then it can be used to compensate maybe people involved within the project. I think that since the funding will be assessed, then it's up to the coordinators of the financial sources to decide. I think we have this kind of freedom, right?
Really?
This is what I thought when I reflected upon sustainability, because Sweden is one of the countries where really respectful in regards to waste and all this kind of milieu and environmental sustainability, but when teachers are concerned, we have a lack of personnel and people work over hours and so on. So I thought about this problem and I thought of including it in the sustainability objective.
Okay, thank you for your answer. I'm just going to pick onto this one before I give the mic to you. Internationalization is never an objective in itself. I hope this to be clear for you, that you cannot say we want to do mobilities and we want everyone to have done mobilities by the 6th grade. No, this is not an objective in itself. The mobilities are supporting wherever you want to get to. Yeah. Also, this program, Erasmus Plus, thinks or starts from co-financing. So we will always have the problem that teachers that are very motivated work more and more and more hours to be able to get where they want to go. There's no specific budget part for management. Yeah, this is, as you said, part of your organizational support that you get for each mobility that you do. So to say that we need an extra objective to get more money to actually be able to fund the people that are working on the project is also not possible. Yeah, it's a co-financing program, and that's exactly why we want to know who are you going to involve, except for only the person that is going to do the mobilities or going to take it into the classroom. We really want to know that there's more people, that it's anchored, that you have your different levels of the organizations with you. Yeah? Still not smart? Okay.
Last year, we were thinking how to internationalize the center, and we decided to form a group. So the headmaster, also the head of the studies, 3 teachers with experience in Erasmus Plus, and we started discussing how to do it. So we've been discussing this year how can we get everybody involved in the project, and we are trying to do it. It is hard, but I think that teachers are highly motivated, and in my school, for example, everyone participates in different plans and programs, and I think that here the main point is how to make these programs into Erasmus and the other way around. So because we are doing, I'm sure that you are doing very interesting programs and plans in your high schools, and I think that the problem is thinking how this makes sense. So we did that, and now there are more people who want to get involved. I hope that this will go on. So it was a group work, and we asked for this group to the authorities because we wanted them to know that we are working on that. But yes, we applied for the project K1 to 2 in February, and we have been awarded, and we're going on. I think it's a process. So this is the beginning.
All right. We're okay? These answered your questions? Yeah? So this is exactly what we need then, the organizational chart that would help us to see who is going to be involved and how are you going to make sure that the project is not run only by one person, but is anchored within the organization. Yeah? Right, next to this one, wait, where did I put, okay. The second sub-criteria that you will be evaluated on, and it is the biggest one, on 40 points, we've been working all morning on this, the objectives, the goals. Really, where do you want to go to, and what do I want to do as an organization? Yeah. Really, what are your needs? It's been said, I think, 3 times before today. What are your needs and challenges? Why is this relevant to your organization? You really have to start from your own reality. My school, we're facing this. Yeah. It's basically, the start of everything else, because later on you're going to describe, as a colleague in the application form already showed you, you can add different objectives that are very concrete and very concise, but we need to know in general what needs are at the base of these objectives. Yeah, what is the reality of your school or your organization? What are you facing? What are the challenges? And I think this is a very general question, but I'd like you to already talk about this with your person sitting next to you on your other side. Yeah, that you didn't speak to before. The other person, please talk about what are the challenges at your school. For instance, I might just say, I have a school in environments where a lot of people with other language aren't great. Yeah, for instance, in Belgium, we have Dutch-speaking schools in the French-speaking part. Yeah, this is my challenge as a school because I'm teaching in a certain language that my pupils don't speak. This is where my challenge arises. Yeah. So what do I need, and why do I want Erasmus Plus money to help me face this need? Is this clear? Yes? So just 2 minutes again, talk to the other neighbor. What are your realities, your school realities, or organization realities?
When you start Erasmus, so when I was basically I work in an institution where
what you said about
easy
language, other languages of the document.
some of the methods that we use that our staff use
We always get a package of documents
that the methods are out there and they are not effective. So what we try to do, for example, now we are sending stuff
like we sign is
understand and learn to see how they can apply them.
Well, I think it's just the same with us, but I think
explaining the language, explaining other languages, will be easier for me because they don't even come to regular time, they come every day. And it's like I have to give proper lessons, I have to...
And I don't understand that.
On the other side, we have cultural problems within the school.
You mean teaching English?
Previous my
I can't teach in English
how we can learn
the
from
majority of students and they are not
Okay, but
as good in English.
But you're talking about the content.
It's always like, even when you
Okay.
send people abroad, even though
No, you need to live about it. But the thing is, you need to link this subject to English
exactly.
to make it international.
And especially when
It's a language.
people do it as well, that's another problem.
I think this is
So ask for
it can be if you speak Erasmus project, because if to teachers to go job salary to learn English to speak to teach their subject in English. So make it clear. But if you want to promote tech, you have to ask for money for a solution to your government. For example, in Catalonia, there are many students that don't speak that language because they are immigrants from other parts of Spain. So they have
Of course,
they speak classes and they
there is no experience with subject. And even if you don't agree with them,
so they do it much worse than we do. You always come back with ideas.
Yes, exactly.
Always come back with
It doesn't matter.
So it's always
and it's always, I think, a good experience.
Yes, for sure.
Because when we are doing it much better than others, then you're proud to go there.
Yeah, exactly.
My God, but all we do is
You feel more creative. That's true.
So in case you want to ask for money for the Erasmus, and also for the kids, so not just for the teachers, the English classes, but also money for the kids to learn
So it's not bad.
more English, go to a place where they speak English as an official language, so they can perform.
But I think a lot of that.
So they will put
Yes,
into
of course.
But I think
practice what they will learn in class, and they will see that it's useful.
I think
So we
that are
can be
more
both-sided. We can
Yes,
send
yes.
teachers
for us it's really
and goes to
Language.
I think it's really exciting.
I will do that.
Yeah, of course, of course, of course, of course.
The problem is we have a lot of immigrants. They have a lot of money. And the problem with this is that they don't behave properly in class.
Africans.
Yes, they are from Morocco, mostly. But we also yes. But the thing is they are not from Morocco. They are from Catalonia.
Very important.
So they are not integrated. So the point is they don't behave properly.
Yeah, but maybe standardized tests, job shadowing,
Parents keep talking
Yes. They speak Catalan and they were down there. So it's like, is this happening? That's it. And then another problem we have
is
is that we have
the headquarters is in Amsterdam, but you can find it in almost every little bit has a department about it. So we have to be quite coming every day. They want to help and they have
I would
Can you please
No, it has been really defined by an agency. Me personally, I mean, I know some other countries.
Especially, I think it's very important now that the system stays flexible because many things are to learn them to be relevant.
I just wanted to add, always start from your own organization. There was a question here. I hear the social inclusion and I hear the diversity, but we're basically a school that does not have any diversity at all. Can I apply for Erasmus? Of course you can. It's your reality and it's the challenges you are facing. But this is an important one at the back that I didn't mention yet. You do need to know why you think you have to go abroad or you have to have an international experience to fix these problems or to get your answers. For instance, in the previous program we had a Dutch or a Flemish course organizer, organized beautiful courses about citizenship and everything, but always in Spain or in Cyprus. And their teachers would always send their or schools would also always send their teachers during the colder winter months to learn about citizenship in Spain. Yeah. Okay, this was part of an application, so it was different. But always make sure. I always said, put on some job shadowing or do a school visit or go really into the reality there where you want to learn from. You really have to convince an expert that you need to go abroad, that you need this international dimension for these funds. Yeah? And again, it's your reality. It doesn't matter if you do not need to use the buzzwords or what you think we want to read. Yeah? Yes, question?
Is there a second mic?
Sorry, I'm going to be really quick on this one. Our organization has a restructuring process right now because we are rapidly, we had like from 600 to 800 students to 1,400 right now. And so there was a huge demand on changing of the processes, of the management, etc. Is that considered as a need or a challenge for the organization to seek an international experience on the matter of how to deal with these structural changes, with this concept?
So your challenge would be, what is the
That our school changed and is much bigger now, and we have too much restructuring in the school.
So what do you suggest yourself as a solution?
Our suggestion could be that we're going to send members of the management to job shadowing internationally, so they will get a better idea of how to deal with bigger numbers of students, of departments, of classrooms, etc.
So basically, if I understand your question correctly, is that you want professionalization of your school leaders, and you want them to get to know how to deal with growing numbers of pupils and of the management, the teams. Well, this is your challenge. Yes, this is your reality. But where do you want to get to? Which results do you want to attain? I think that's your basic question. Like, what do I want? Where do I want to get to? What will be the results in my organization? Yeah. Not just maybe the job shadowing as a priority, but what will the results of this be? Yeah, is that an answer to your question?
Yeah.
Good, so we talked generally about the objectives that are scored on 40 points. Then you can add the objectives into details. You can add as many objectives as you want, but I would not recommend to add a whole lot of them. Think about, can I sometimes link different objectives together? Is what if one objective would be, I don't know, it's for each pupil to have a second language, and the other objective would be conversation skills. Maybe you could link them together. Yeah. Think about how concrete, how concise can I go with one objective? Also, and I said this before, internationalization cannot be an objective in itself. It's always a tool, a way to get to where you want to go. I see a question in the back. Yeah?
I was just wondering, what is the normal kind of amount of objectives? I mean, I have no idea. I heard at some stage somebody mentioned 14 objectives, and I thought, I've got a way to go if I reach 14 objectives. But, you know, is 4 too little? Is 14 too much? I mean, I have no idea.
Bear in mind, if you do an accreditation application with 14 objectives, you will have to make these 14 objectives into reality. Yeah? And if not, you will also be evaluated upon how did you do this? And did you eventually, when you get the funds, spend all the funds on these mobilities for these objectives? So again, it's not the more the better. It really is the more concrete, the better. Yeah. The more it applies to you, and the more you can convince us that you need Erasmus and you need internationalization to support you in your goal. That's why, basically, in the Netherlands, I have seen max 4 objectives an accreditation application. And I would even say in the first stages, it's up to you, but the more realistic, the better. Yeah? Okay, I think we've covered this then. Okay, and only then we go into the third sub-criteria, which are the activities, yeah, which is only scored on 20 points. And really, it's also, of course, a question, what do I want? But the mobilities themselves, you don't even have to tell us where do you want to go, when, and with how many people. It is an estimation. You give us the general idea. You will be asked per year, where do you think you will get to? But you don't have to tell us what you will exactly do until 2027. And even as we heard yesterday, it might even be an accreditation for the next programs that you're getting now. So until 35 or something, it's not realistic that you're saying we want to exactly get there. It's an estimation. And we do not want you to get stuck on these numbers either. It's really about how do I think that these mobilities will get me to where I want to get. Yeah, what do I want to attain? Okay? Of course, you can say that you need the pupil mobility and you make a division between the staff and the pupils, but why? How is this a support to the goal you want to get to? Right? We've already talked about the quality standards. I don't know if you remember which one they are. Yes, you can scream them.
Inclusion.
Inclusion, one big one.
Digitalization.
Inclusion, I heard again. What more?
Sustainability. Which one?
Digitalization.
Digitalization. And one more?
Active participation.
Active participation, very good. Bear in mind, you will have to underwrite them. You will link, yes, I am okay with these basic principles. But the better, the more concrete you go, the better. Again, if you link one of these basic principles of the Erasmus quality standards to your application, we would really like to see how are you going to go into the sustainability. Yeah? Convince us that you're really, that you take yourself seriously and that you take Erasmus Plus seriously. The more that you can write on that, the better. Yeah? And then eventually we have the last sub-criterion, the management. This is a whole set of questions that you will see in the application form separately, but it's basically the what do I need to get to my plan and the who. We've already talked about who am I as an organization and who is going to be involved in the process, but this is basically about how am I going to make sure that there is continuity. Yeah? That again is in the anchorment of the organization, that I will make sure that the whole of my organization is dedicated to the internationalization. Also on the different levels. Do not think only about who is going to do what, but also how am I going to finish the contents, the strategy, the finances. Yeah? Who is going to be involved to get me to where I need for my plan. Yeah? Here we want to really see that it's a result you have on the day-to-day life in your organization. This is also anchorment, but you can tell us how do you think you will see the results in your school reality. Yeah? How are my pupils, my staff, my school leaders, how is everybody involved going to really benefit from what I have done? Yeah? Clear? Yes? No? No more questions about this one? Okay. Right, and this is actually what I just said, like that you have to describe the actions on your organizational, staff, and student level, the day-to-day reality that will, of course, have changed, hopefully, after the execution of your plans. Yeah? This is thinking backwards. We've already seen this in the morning. You start from the change and the results you want to attain. You can dream, and you start from where do I really want to get to within mid or long term, and start from there. So think the other way around, basically. Yeah? Think about the change, think about the results. Good? This is basically all I had to tell you. I will send you the tips and tricks documents. Now it's still in Dutch because we developed it with the Dutch experts. But I will make sure that there's a translation for you, and you will have like the questions and the tips and tricks that we've just covered sent to you, or either I'll put them on the tablet, right? Okay.